Hi, this is Siri Lam with a short overview of how to use polls in a Zoom meeting. I've signed into my Zoom account here, which will enable me to do the first two of the four steps that are necessary for using polls in a meeting. The first thing that you want to do is you want to ensure that your polls are turned on. You do need to have a pro account in order to even have this feature to begin with. So you come into settings and you scroll down to where it says polls. Meeting polls over here, and you ensure that it is toggled on. Next, we want to go and set up our poll before the meeting begins. To do that, we come to meetings. If you have a pre-scheduled meeting, you'll come here where it says upcoming. You'll click on your meeting that you've scheduled, and then down here at the bottom where it says poll, you can add a poll. If you are starting your meeting from a personal meeting room, here in meetings, instead you'll choose personal room, and then come here on the top and choose poll and add a poll from here on the right. With either one, once you've chosen to add a poll, you give the poll a title. And now you can add your questions. You put your question here. You can choose between single choice and multiple choice. Single choice will allow your users to choose only one thing. Multiple choice will allow them to choose more than one. If you have more than two choices, which is the default, you can add options from here on the bottom. If you have more questions that you'd like to add, you can add another full question. And for each one, you can differentiate if it is single choice or multiple choice. Polls by default are anonymous. If you'd like to be able to know who said what, you can uncheck this. It is important to keep in mind that while the poll is running, it is anonymous for everyone. And even afterwards, if you didn't want it to be anonymous, only those users who have signed into Zoom before they joined your meeting will have their identities known. When you're done with your poll, you click save, and it is now added to your list of polls here. That is the end of steps 1 and 2, where you're making sure that your polls are turned on in settings and that you've set up your poll. In the next 2 steps, we'll talk about deploying the poll and then seeing the responses. Once we come into a Zoom meeting that we've started, what you'll notice here on the bottom is that you have a button for polls. When you click this, you have the option to choose the poll that you want to deploy. And then you can launch the poll for your users. Your attendees are now viewing the question. This will pop up on their screen. When you feel that either enough people have voted or enough time has elapsed, you can end your poll. You can then choose if you would like to share the results with your attendees. They are now able to view the poll results, and you can stop that. You can also download the results as a spreadsheet. If you want to make the poll available again, you can relaunch your poll. In the final step, I will show you how to download the responses if you didn't do it automatically here. In the final step, if you'd like to access your poll report after your meeting has ended, you can come here to reports, which is again in settings. You can go to meeting and choose poll report. You can narrow it down to the days. I didn't actually run a poll, so I have no data here, but you would see this listed over here, and then you could download it as a spreadsheet. I hope this was helpful.